Yeah, we moved shelves again. You like that one better, do you? Yeah, down the corner. Yeah. You're just having a big move around of which shelves you live in. You are, aren't you? Yes. Should we get on with this? Get on with this show, shall we? Yeah. See if we can actually produce worth watching this week. My first time for everything, isn't it? Hey. Yeah. Yes, I completely agree. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. R. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, greetings, salutations, all the other things. Yeah, I'm here on my own again. Um, oh well. We have someone. So yes, the usual silly stuffs tonight. I've really not got anything off the top of my head that I want to get off my head or rant about or rave about. That is really rant or raveable about on a public forum like YouTube. Without upsetting probably about 45% of the audience, so we'll avoid those. Um, hmm. So, how the devil are you? Um, yeah, for me, a week like any other week. Nothing spectacular or interesting has happened, which is always good. Uh, although this week I shall have a nice quiet week. It's because my neighbour's gone on holiday. Not that my neighbour is noisy, but Pippa is. So taking the dog with him. So I won't get yapped at all the time. Every time someone deigns to walk down the road. Every time she thinks I should be walking her, we'll go around and giving her a fuss. Yeah. Bless her, she's a lovely dog, but she's a bit much at times. She's not the brightest either. She really isn't. But anyway, can't grumble too much because I get paid to walk her, and I'm getting paid to look after the cats this week. So yay! Cats are a lot easier. They don't need taking for walks. The poop's in the same place. Uh, I would say they all love fusses, but Pippa loves fusses as well. Yeah. All the fishies do well. We do have a couple more baby Amicus splendens kicking about. Yeah, other than that, everything's going fine. Spotty's on eggs again, so tomorrow they will hatch. So we'll need to do the empty the breeder box into a fry tank jobby, and then decave. Hopefully eggs, not quite wrigglers yet, because it's a lot easier when they're still eggs. And back to water changes. So I'll do the water change, and I'll do the water changes I'm going to do tomorrow, which will be big tank and fry rack. And then I'll shift the fish about, and then have some lunch and go to work. Hello, Debs. Hugs. How are you, my dearie? That's pretty much what I got planned. Been doing more hacking and chopping in the back garden. Still haven't found Toshi yet. He's still hiding up out there somewhere. Um, I have accidentally bred goldfish, it would seem, because there are goldfish in my pond that I don't recognise, and they're smaller than the others. So, yay! Add another species to the species Sharpe has bred list. These ones seem to be mostly just standard orange colour, nothing spectacular. And yeah, it's just started raining as well. So I was debating on whether I might actually pick the laptop up and take it outside, but no, it's raining. And probably for the best not till I get the garden finally chopped back. We're nearly there. Well, I say nearly there. I've nearly got to the back fence. And then I've got to get to the side fence. Then I've got to replace the fence. Pardon me, then the other side fence. By which time half the stuff I've already cut back will start growing again. Yeah. So, never mind. Howdy, Mark. Goodwood evening. Very funny. Girlfriend, 3 litre energy drink. Big one, don't fit in. Ooh, water changing and filling new tank. Ooh, all exciting, Debs. You got new tanks is always exciting. Any particular plans for new tank? Yeah, even I don't drink a 3 litre energy drink in a day. Well, I might. I don't think I'd actually physically drink that much in a day. Not unless I was on a really long bike ride on a really hot day. But yes. Looking forward to seeing and hearing about the new tank, Debs. Sure, it's going to be something awesome and cool and pretty. I'm still kind of debating on whether to move the Shelleys on or not. It's been several months now and I've not had any fry. So they're either all males or all females that I've got left. Or I'm waiting for something to grow up and mature. And we might start getting babies again. Aqua 1, 3 and 1, probably betters, but may try shrimp. We try shrimp first. And once they've got established, you can then maybe add a better. So I found that worked quite well. Obviously, it depends on the better. Something with really long frilly fins is a lot less likely to be chasing and catching the shrimp. Obviously, I'll still get a few, but the ones with the shorter fins will be a lot zoomier. Yeah. And a tip, if you're just going to chuck a better in there or a couple of betters, don't bother with cycling it. If you're going to put live plants in there and you've already got dirty filters, you don't need to cycle a tank. Just clean out your old filters into your new tank, stick some plants in there, and then away you go. So this is going to jump in, maybe getting a little Oscars. Okay, got eggs. Ooh, baby Oscars. Yay. Oh, mind you, I think shops do sell quite a lot of Oscars. Most of these people who have no idea how big they're going to get, or people who can't keep them alive very long because they keep them in a very small tank and then wonder why they keep dying every couple of months. So should be able to move Oscars on fairly easily. You wouldn't get much money, unfortunately. What they normally sell for around here. Usually about a fiver for an Oscar. It's one of the ones that's split into three. It's got dividers in it. Oh, very cool. So you could do a better and a couple of flavors of shrimp. Guarantee the shrimp will end up in all three anyway, because the shrimp will crawl out and over. Or if there's mesh between, you know how tiny baby shrimp are, they'll get through there. And evening tap Tom, the mama, brat brat vroom vroom. Sounds like some weeds are being whacked as we speak. Or grass is screaming in agony, one or the other. Doing good in the big tank, and the blue sharks don't go. Yeah, I know you know to put them in a big tank. It's what we as hobbyists, we tend to know these things, whereas JQ public, the person who buys a fish tank and then wants to put all the pretty fish in it, and then they wonder why things keep going wrong, so they keep adding more and more chemicals. Those are the kind of people I'm talking about. Or people like me that will, stock at feet per gallon, not inch per gallon. But then are willing to do the filter cleans and the water changes to keep things healthy. So I've got a blackbird on the patio that's hopping about and munching grubs. I'm lucky I might even see a Heggetty hog, an hedgehog, bush pig. There's a few of those floating around in the garden as well. Or just a massive fat cat. Because there's one of them as well. Fat cat is currently demolishing her dinner and is probably going to have a sleep for the rest of the day. Not the most energetic of cats, but then you don't get to be that size by being energetic. Witness. Yes. So I did. So I've seen those 3-in-1 tanks, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, that would be cool because you could do 3 different things in one. But then it was, would I do 3 different flavors of shrimp, or 2 different flavors with a better in the middle, just so that the shrimp don't crossbreed? Yeah, they're very cool, especially if you can manage to work it so the escape continues throughout the 3. It looks like it's just one tank, but you've got the dividers in there. All 3 entirely different looking tanks. 2 planted and one that's just bare sand. If you lined a few of them up, you could get them. If you lined like 2 or 3 up in a row, you could get a really interesting setup going. Ooh, pardon me. I've got enough tanks. I don't need any more. I don't want any more. Well, that's a lie. I do. I do want more tanks. I do want more fish. However, I don't really want to be doing much more work. It's not too bad if I've got the Monday or the Tuesday off work. If I'm working Monday, Tuesday, I do need to get the water changes done by Tuesday. because otherwise filters do start bunging up solid. I think probably, that one I had to clean out last night because that one gummed up solid, and the 3 Fluval U ones up the top are probably pretty full as well. And that will only be 6 days because I did all the water changes on Tuesday. Oh, behave. Daft Shelley Dwellies. Betters and shrimps. That's a good combo. You could probably get away without buying plants as well, Deb. You've probably got plenty in your tanks that you could split one off of. I think pretty much all the plants in my tanks now come from one pot of Anubias. Hello, Deli, how you doing, me darling? Hubble. It's all come from one Anubias, one Java fern, 3 different kinds of crypt, and then the Valsnaria. Yeah, excluding all the stuff that died on the way, but yeah, I think it's basically all come from that few plants. I bought a lot more. They didn't all necessarily survive, or they may have gone in the bin. And I've done redos of tanks. Or that little Java fern sitting on top of that rock there. No idea where that came from, because I've never. It just turned up one day. Ooh, day off, thankfully. Woohoo! Those got a Monday off for once. That just means you'll be going in Tuesday and have to fix all the screw ups. Tends to be one of my jobs. When me and the branch manager are on a close, one of the things we tend to do as the day wears on is start fixing all the other screw ups. Oh, so excited. Mark said he's sending off some valves today. More plants, yay! Well, once you've got Val going, you won't need any more of it. Hello, Goldie Fishies. Because I've tried, I can't sell the plants. These shops don't want them because they want them in pots and ready to sell like that rather than just a bare-rooted plant. So yeah, the amount of Val I throw in the bin every month and the amount of crypts I throw in the bin and big old honks of Anubias. I generally just feed the Anubias to the baby plecos. I just chop off a section of Anubias about that long and throw it in a pleco tank. Knowing you'll die. If I can't kill Val, no one can. The trick is to not put it in the same tank as Dwarf Sagittaria. Make a side hustle, sell on the side at $5 a bag. Yeah, I just can't be bothered dealing with the public. As I said before, with the fish, yes, I could sell direct to the public. I could do it online, whatever. And I get more per fish, considerably more per fish. But you and I both work retail. Last thing we want to do in our time off is deal with the public. You can't guarantee that everyone you're going to sell to is going to be a fish fammy person, someone who knows fish, or isn't an absolute sea unit. You know, it's going to be people like, oh, I bought these fish off you. I put them in with my shrimp, and they ate all my shrimp. What fish were they? Dwarf cichlids. Well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. People don't understand why I don't deal with people. No, my battery's dead. Leave me alone. Yeah, peopling takes a lot out of you, especially if you're not naturally a people person, which is something that some of my colleagues find very hard to compute, that I'm not a people person. But I've basically developed a split personality. I get to work, and as soon as I'm starting to have to deal with customers, I'm different. Much like this. This isn't me, because I'm talking to people. It just means we have to try harder. Um, the retail mask, yeah, yes. All retail workers wear a mask all the time. That's why we weren't too bothered about wearing them during COVID. We were like, we wear one all the time anyway, just metaphorical. And if we've got an actual mask on, then we can mouth swear words at customers or stick our tongue out. Yeah, and don't get in trouble because no one sees it. Although I do think we should get one freebie, um, maybe once a month, once a quarter. Where when you get one of those customers, you just turn around to your boss and go, "Taking my one for this month, righto," and then you get to launch it to the customer. People wonder why you still wear a mask. So, yeah. Anything to keep people away. And if they ask you, you go, "Yeah, I've got COVID," and they'll leave you well alone. It's when you start handling the cash and the goods that they've touched with you get a pair of tongs like your grandma used to use with a twin tub washing machine. Just using a pair of tongs to handle everything. Yeah. So you can give them a helpful without them realizing. And you feel better for it. And also you can actually do things like burp, cough, and swear, and people don't necessarily know exactly where it came from. Trick is to do it and then look around like, what the? What? Who said that? Done that more than once. Fired really loudly and then started looking around to see who it was. Yes, the joys of working retail for not much above minimum wage. Personally, I think, much like I think everyone should ride a moped or a motorbike for a year before they can get a car license, I think everyone's first job should be in retail or service industry, waiter, waitress, that kind of thing, fast food, whatever. Something where you deal with the public. A year of that, customer facing role, that would just be so much better for the world as a whole. It would probably cut the carroting overnight. There you go. Carenning is illegal. The punishment is 1 year of retail work, unpaid. Oh, yeah, that's the perfect punishment for a Karen, isn't it? Oh, you're having a go at the people in McDonald's who are fresh out of school, minimum wage, really, don't want to be there, and you're expecting them to treat you like royalty. So you went off on them, demanded all sorts of yeah, yeah, yeah. Make it a law. I mean, at least you put signs up in shops with just the red circle with the cross through it, and then the outline of a Karen. Yeah. Fairly obvious sign, isn't it? Yeah, no Karening allowed. Exactly. Or just a big sign above the checkouts that say, "Our staff will treat you as you treat them." With the correct quote underneath, the customer is always right in terms of taste. Well, taste or style, because you probably taste in a restaurant, because then they'd be telling you, well, no, it's wrong because this is not my taste. No, that's what cheddar cheese should taste like. But it doesn't taste like how I like my cheese. What cheese do you eat? Cheese whiz or Kraft slices. That's not cheese. Cheese does not come in a can. If you throw a slice of cheese at someone, it will bounce off. Or if it's strong cheddar, maybe take out their eye. Yeah. Start the movement. Good evening, Sir Andrew. How the devil art thou? I was working yesterday. Yes. You back again, Blackie Bird. Yeah, I mean, the whole Karening thing, when did it start? Because I don't remember it at all when I was younger. Is it last 10 years, maybe? So something's changed in those last 10 years. And she slept until 10:30 a.m. yesterday. It was glorious. Wow. And I've got to admit, normally by 10:30 a.m. I'm waking up from first nap, especially if it's a day off. Oh, yeah, I don't. That's why I nap. Um, and generally, I wake up when the sun comes up, which means summertime is a nightmare. Sunday's always working. I mean, this time of year now, it's not starting to get light till 6 in the morning, and it'll be dark by 7:45. So yes, by the time I finish my stream, it'll pitch black outside. Um, just because it's piddling down the rain at the moment, which is making some happy goldfish. Oh, oh, you got let go. That don't sound good. Fed up with the BS. uh, yeah. You told them what you thought, and they were, no, thank you. yeah, it's like anytime it's like, you know, that shooter complains to the manager. Yes, I got shouted at. Why? I don't know. Why did he shout at? Being an idiot. Righto, don't be an idiot. Sick of being one to do all the hard work. Yeah, I know the feeling. And so and I won't say we're not busy. We do get more than our share of customers. But it's usually fairly easy to deal with. And I do work with some lazy bar stewards. That's quite good because it means when it's quiet, I get to do all the work. So I'm not standing around bored. And they're going, oh, bored. There's nothing to do. I'm bored. I'm thinking, yeah, that's because I'm doing it all. You float around with a head up, but that's clean, serve customers and everything. Yeah. What would tradies looking for left-handed screwdrivers? We do actually sell a left-handed screwdriver. Left-handed screwdrivers are a thing because there are certain security screws these days which are, well, I mean, for centuries there have been reverse threaded screws, but now some of the security heads on them, if you try and undo them with a standard Phillips type screwdriver, you can't. So you need a reverse Phillips head screwdriver, or it's actually a JIS. Is it a JIS? I can't remember. It's one of them, but yeah, you need a backward screwdriver. Mutton Kerr, how the devil art thou? I am not an earl. Definitely not. I am not the landed gentry. I'd never even make me a lord. Left-handed hammer. That's a Birmingham screwdriver, isn't it? Although, if there was a type of hammer that had a haft that was molded or shaped for certain people, then they'd have to offer it in left-handed as well. We've definitely got two-handed hammers. Some of the sledgehammers we sell are ridiculous. It was like, when I go to the shelf to pick up the sledgehammer, and I'm like, oh, okay. Is that stuck? No, it's just one of the 18 kilo. There's some we've got that literally look like war hammers. Oh, finally got all the notifications coming in. Come on, how many notifications can there be? My DIY simple sump filter system has evolved. I think we got them all. Is there any such thing as a simple sump? I highly doubt it. Ding dong, Avon calling. Bouquet residence, the lady of the house speaking. And if you've not seen that show, you won't get that. All right, Sam, how you doing? None of us are right. That's why we're all here. I mean, you don't have to be mad to join this stream, but it does help. Yeah. Who wants to be normal anyway? Normal's boring. Don't ask me, I'm still half asleep. I know that feeling very well. I tend to operate like a dolphin. Most of the time, I'm just running on half a brain. Given some of my colleagues, I'm still more intelligent in that case. I mean, this day and age, how someone can actually leave school and still be unable to read. What? How? I just exactly, normal is boring. Who wants to be normal? Yeah. Oh, geez. Just going to work and then watching the things that everyone says are good on TV. And then just doing everything that you think you should because everyone else does. Not necessarily because you like it or enjoy it, but it's because what you think you should do. And then you find someone who doesn't do that, and you're like, oh, you're weird. But why do you do that? People say, oh, why do you look? Why do you go on? Why do you go on these long bike rides? What's the point? Gets me out of the house, gets me fitter, keeps my mind free, clears it out. It's enjoyable. I get to see interesting and enjoyable things. I get to poop in strange places. And I have decided that next bike ride I go on, I'm going to have to make sure I take a camera with me, and I'm going to have to find one of the typical Norfolk lanes and film myself riding down it at normal speed, so I can add commentary. It won't be very long. The video won't be. Just to get the point across, because I've been seeing a lot of sort of American reactions, and they're going, "Oh, the roads are so narrow over there. The roads are really narrow," and it's looking at someone driving down what I would consider a large road. No, there's enough room for two cars to pass each other. That's a big road. Around here, there are roads where if it was two people on road bikes that physically, you can't run them on gravel or dirt because you will get a puncture instantly or break a wheel. There were roads down here that cyclists couldn't pass each other on. You got either a honking great hedge one side and a ditch the other with no curbs, grass growing down the middle of the road, rocks and gravel strewn everywhere. This time of year, all the mud from the sugar beet. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, pretty much a rabbit trail. Yeah, so I'm going to have to get around to filming that because I think the reactions could be quite amusing, especially as I could then go into the comments of certain reaction channels and go, I filmed a video going down a typical Norfolk country lane. What do you reckon? And the fact that they're all 60 limits, national speed limit, so 60 mile an hour. And you can tell the locals because they're the ones who are doing 60 mile an hour down them because they know where the tight corners and the narrow parts are. And there are somewhere there are corners that I brake for on my bike. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what's around this corner. I'm going to slow down a bit, just to make sure I'm not in the middle of the road when I come around the other side of it. Yeah. You see, I enjoy finding these little out of the way tracks and roads, and that's where you see the interesting stuffs. It weren't this week because I didn't go for a ride this week because the day I could have gone for a ride, it was blowing a hoolie and piddling down with rain. And I really didn't fancy just getting cold and wet for no real reason. So last week I saw deer, red-tailed kites, blowing a hoolie. That's a common one over here. You knew exactly what it meant, didn't you? Not earwax, I'm not being disgusting. Well, it might be some deeper down, but trimmed my ear hair, so I've got that point where I've got ear stubble, and it's really annoying. I don't even think that's a Norfolk one blowing a hoolie. I don't know where it comes from. I don't think it's Norfolk. Howdy, green thumb. It's going. That's a Norfolk one. Although in actual Norfolk it would be it's going. Or skewing. Learning all kind of things. Yeah, we're going from English colloquialisms to what happens when you shave your ear hair, why Karening should be against the law, all sorts. I'm just trying to figure out why the heck I'm overheating as well. I'm going to crack the back door open. I've got a funny feeling it's been a bit chilly and all the tank heaters have come on. Been a while since it's in the happy car, is there in there somewhere? Yeah, we still got Bert and Ernie. They're hiding up in there somewhere. Somewhere down. Out the way, Limia. There's Bert hiding up at the back. Ernie's normally not too far away. Oh, there's Ernie. Somewhere else down the back. There's a way to get them out. We know how to make fishes come out of hidey holes. What we do is we pop the camera back on there. Hopefully it will focus into the right place. Grab that. I see you. Come on. We're going to have to add some pellets as well, are we? That sounds like flake. That sounds like pellets. Come on, look out you come. Now if I grab the cami rah. Hopefully it won't just run off and hide. See? Big old chunky flecky blue Akara. And Bristlemo's butt wafting out of the cave. Oh, and Ernie's coming out as well. Come on, Ernie. Come on, you silly apeth. We all know you're there. Your fans want to see you. Yeah, they're a bit nuts. Can't blame them. They're getting on a bit now. Yeah, hey, you old boys. Warm up. Let's crack this back door open. Get a bit of them here. There we go. No, we don't want to reactivate McAfee. Go away. It's 200 litre, so 50 gallon, well, 50 something. So it's actually quite deep front to back as well. Yeah, you're coming out to say hello now, aren't you, hey? And yes, I'm aware there's a lot of green spot algae on the glass. So we might have to get some more nerites in there. Yes, there we go. They're both out and about now. Yes, feedy. No, don't go near the cave. You'll upset Spotty again, then you'll get head butted and you'll cry for a week. Yeah, it's pretty deep that way and front to back as well. Yeah, if Spotty's on eggs, obviously male bristlenose on eggs gets very protective. So if the Akaras get too close to the cave, or anyone gets too close to the cave, they get chased off. In the Akara's case, because they're big enough and not quite quick enough, they get head butted as well, and they really don't like that. And Spotty's got a big hard head. Trust me. He's head butted me before. Nope. But he's out as well. Or was. I think some of the... I'm sure I did just see one of the baby Corys as well, that might have hidden up again. Yes, hello. You really are playing with fire there, but... Crazy creatures. Yes, a 200 litre tank with filter wise, just a Fluval U1 and a ye olde box filter. Because, well, if you're going to add air to a tank, you might as well attach a filter to it. That's all I'm going to say on that. Airstone doesn't really do much. It provides surface agitation, but if your filter provides surface agitation, then you don't need the extra surface agitation from the airstone. So yeah, you may as well just attach a filter to it and be done with it. And a box filter is really good at polishing the water. I wonder about adding an airstone to my tank this summer. I mean, you will get, let's say, it will improve the oxygenation, but you will also get more evaporation. And if you can do that, just, you'll get the same oxygenation benefit from an airstone as you would for a cheap old sponge filter, or yeah, just stick a spongy on there and be done with it. Tommy, how are you doing, you spexy beast, you? Yeah, I'd say a sponge filter or a little. Oh yeah, box filters. That's what's down in that corner back there. Is the ye olde 1980s style box filter. With my problem is how I need that goes. Not a problem I have. Go in, day 5 and no nicotine, no vape, nothing. Oh, well done you, Tommy. Keep up the good work, my friend. You have my full support. I can imbibe enough nicotine for 2. I can keep Philip Morris in business, don't worry. Yeah, I say those box filters, they've been around since the 70s, or probably earlier than that, probably since plastic first was created. And yeah, just add air, chuck some gravel in the bottom to weight it down, because otherwise they do float. And that's where the first biomedia came from. Yeah, under gravels work brilliantly as well. People go, oh, under gravel, but the mold, the build-up of muck underneath it, the nitrate exposure, you'll get bubbles of. No, no, the odd bubble of gas popping is not going to kill all the fish in the tank. Oh yeah, Tupperware container, just run the airline in the bottom with a tube coming out the top, drill a bunch of holes around the sides, and job done. It won't be efficient, but it will work. I mean, even just a pond plant pot, because they're basically made out of a mesh. This is the one where I DIY'd a filter for my pond using a solar powered fountain, which is basically the pump for the solar powered fountain inside a aquatic plant pot that just lined with sponges that sucks the water in through the sponges and then blows the water out the top. Yeah, they're simple to make, but to be honest, they're cheap enough to buy as well. 6 or I think £6 or £7 for one. Yeah, I've got a few. I bought some there teeth in. So I've got some plants from a pond, but yeah, they're basically just bigger versions of the one that aquatic plants come in. Yeah, I've got to put my teeth in. I mean, you don't even need a pot. You can just use a mesh bag that they do for when you buy it. These days in the UK, when you buy fresh fruit and veg, you can buy it loose, and you have a mesh bag that's either got a drawstring or a zip on the top. You put it in there, so you just keep reusing the same bag every time. You don't have to keep getting new plastic bags and packaging and all sorts. You can just use one of those. Just line that with sponge, or heck, even just floss. It wouldn't be very pretty, but it'd do the trick. Literally, yeah, you literally just put some floss in the bottom, drop an air stone in it, and then put some floss on the top of the air stone. Job done. Yeah, terracotta. I mean, if you ran the air line through the bottom of the terracotta pot, you usually got a hole in them. I've got one around here somewhere. Did have. Where'd I put it? There. Here we go. One cichlid spawning device. Yeah, just run the air line through the bottom, so about halfway up the pot, and then fill the pot with floss or sponge, and it will suck water through it. It won't be great, but it'll do something. Yeah, so it's one of those things where DIYing it is cool, but it's so cheap to buy. Same with sponge filters, but I do stand by the box filters are more effective than sponge filters. For the reasons of you've got different grades of filtration, so you can have, like I've got in there, I've got the one in there has got coarse sponge, fine sponge, and floss with gravel in the bottom, which acts as biomedia. No, it's just there to weight it down so it don't float. When you want to go and clean it, you just take it out of the tank and half the gunk doesn't fall off back into the tank again. We've all seen videos of how aquarium co-op clean their sponge filters, where they're using a bag and carefully put the filter in a bag and then take it out of the tank and clean it. Sponge box filter, you just pick it up by the hairline and go pop, clean out, put it all back together, fill it up with water, put the lid back on, put it back in. Maybe it's something I should do a video on. What do you reckon? Do you think why ye olde box filters are better than sponge filters? Yeah, that's probably a decent little video there. And we all know that any time you put a video out saying one kind of filter is better than another, especially if it's older technology, it gets people upset. Because I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure But the reason we have all the various biomedias now is because back in the day when everyone was using box filters and they were just using a bit of aquarium gravel to weight them down, because that was back when everyone just used pea gravel in their aquariums. Aquaria, sorry, correct English. And some bright spark thought, well, we've got to be able to sell them something to weight these filters down with. Because once we sold the filter, we don't make any more money until the filter actually physically snaps. So someone drops it or breaks it and they can't glue it back together again. So well, what if we came up with some idea for something that you put in there as a weight that you pay for? And the other people were like, yeah, but it's just a weight. People aren't going to pay extra for that when they've already got the gravel. Yeah, but what if we can make up some pseudoscience about how it's better for the tank? Ooh, now you're talking. What if we had something that's really microporous and we could say it was a really good home for bacteria and it would grow extra beneficial bacteria in the tank? Oh, people will buy that. And that's why we have 74,000 different types of biomedia these days, all of which do exactly the same thing. Well, all the stationary stuff, the floating stuff is different, but all the stationary stuff, yeah, it just, all the micropores get clogged up with gunk and dead bacteria, and then it's just a rock. It's got no more surface area than a piece of gravel. The thing with micropores is they get blocked up really easily, especially in the bottom of a box filter where all the muck likes to settle. Oh, Sharpe going on a filter rant again. I don't know why they have to complicate these things. it's an easy enough thing to do. How does a filter work? Well, you move water through something that all the particulates in the water are going to catch them, so you can then remove them and clean them out. And then, yeah, you need the bacteria in the tank, and they generally grow on where the muck is. So, yeah. But they live on every surface of the tank. Oh, God, there was one on Reddit earlier where their tank was dirty. They wanted to clean it. They wanted to use Viacal to clean the tank with fish in it. It's like, no, don't use something that's designed for cleaning your kitchen sink. Use warm water or vinegar. And that's not very, yeah, you're going to have to scrub a bit. You're going to have to put elbow grease in. But you start squirting Viacal in your tank, I'm pretty sure the fish are going to die fairly rapidly. I've not looked at the chemical composition of Viacal. It's got an acid in there. It has to, because it dissolves limescale, which is probably something like acetic, which is vinegar. But then it's going to have all sorts of other things in there that you really don't want in a fish tank. I mean, even the window cleaner that I use for cleaning the glass on the outside, it's in a squirt bottle, and I've got lids on all my tanks so it doesn't go in the tank. I'll squirt it like cleaning this tank, the lid will be closed, and I'll squirt it around that kind of level onto the outside glass to clean it. But even that's a vinegar one. I don't see my own Mulm. Yeah. If in doubt, mulm. But mulm, but it's dirty. It's dirty. It's bad. It'll be bad for my fishies. No. That's where all the microorganisms and the microfauna, the microflora, the alfuks, whatever you want to call it, the infusoria, that's where that all lives. That's stuff that oh no, little bugs and creepy. Yeah, yeah, it's how an ecosystem works. Tiny stuff that feeds on the waste of the bigger stuff and converts said waste into something less toxic. Yeah, and we've all been pond dipping or paddling or whatever, or fishing. Even if you haven't, just go to a local pond, because that's in essence what our tanks are. They're ponds. Local natural pond. Stick your hand in, down to the bottom, and scoop up a handful of what's in there. That's the reason that pond's alive and thriving. And that thick, slimy, stinky, nasty gunk is good. Yeah, maybe not use your hand if you're a bit more germophobic than me. Yeah, a scoop or something, just scoop a handful of it out. And I mean, I wouldn't suggest putting it in a tank to kickstart a cycle or anything, because you don't know what you're going to introduce. Like people who get their sand from the sea or from the beach and get some seawater with it, and while they're there, they pick up some shells and some rocks that are pretty to put in their marine tank, and then wonder why it's full of all sorts of weird and wonderful little beasties. There's the Sykes experiment. That particular experiment is in my back garden. It's called my pond. I don't feed it. I don't do water changes. It's not got a filter. It's got 5 adult comet goldfish in there. They're not big comets because it's not a big pond, but you know, they survive year to year and they've bred. So something must be good in there. I'm going to start a tank with some sand from the lake near me. Probably make the best substrate. Top ups. Yeah, it's the UK. I don't need to top it up. Only time I've needed to top the pond up was not this year, last couple of summers, because we had droughts. And then I just topped it up out of the magical butt water. Yeah. And the water changes happen when it rains that much, the pond overflows and all the water runs off down towards the back of my garden and floods the Karen's pathway beside who lives behind me. Oh well. Maybe you shouldn't have annoyed me and been such a bee about the back fence. Bet the back garden looks. Oh no, no. You're thinking garden like flowers and lawns and things like that. What it actually is a bramble and nettle patch with a couple of surviving shrubs, a holly tree. Yeah, I know. It's not like some nice pretty place. That's why I'm having to do the choppy chop chop, because Well, the brambles have reached about 8 feet high, and they were basically the whole garden, along with the nettles. And I got a funny feeling, yeah, we jungle, yeah, exactly. That's why I make the joke. There's still a World War II Japanese sniper out there. Um, but yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting there slowly. But we can't just like. I mean, I could technically bag it all up and go down the tip and take it down the tip and pay for that. Um, but we have well, generally we have two wheelie bins in the UK. Well, in this part we do anyway. Black one, the green one for normal waste, one for recycling. But you can't put your garden waste in either of them. So you then just the tip exactly. So you then have to get a brown bin, which is for garden waste, which is 50, 60 quid a year. And that gets emptied every fortnight. So every 2 weeks that gets emptied. And yeah, it'll hold a fair bit. You know, if you just do normal gardening, it came because of the tip. And your came in. Yes, tip is rubbish dump. Yes. Uh, yeah, so they empty that every 2 weeks if you remember to put it out. And it takes 5, maybe 6 of what my trug is. Which is what, 35 litre. I think it's about 150 litre bin. All told, maybe 200 litre. Translating for the Americans. And yeah, it's very easy to fill that up when you're clearing large amounts of brambles out of the garden. So basically, it's a case of I'm filling that up every 2 weeks. And yeah, I'm getting there slowly. Once we take the brambles out that side, that's when we'll find just how bad. About, about, about 200, I think. And I'm chopping it all up into little bits as well. So it's not like I'm just pulling a 10-foot piece of bramble out and sticking it in the bin. I'm chopping that 10-foot piece of bramble up into 6-inch pieces. Oh, yeah, I'll get there. Done it before, I'll do it again. Yeah, roundabout. But yeah, I think it's around about the same size as that tank. Might be a little bit bigger, but howdy, Rainer. How you doing? Yeah, I mean, it all used to be sort of free, as it were, in the UK, but as things have gotten tighter and government or council budgets have been cut back, they're having to charge for things that used to be free. So if you got, say, you want to get rid of an old sofa, it used to be you just leave it next to your bin on bin collection day and they'd throw it in the bin lorry. Nowadays, you have to contact the council and then they'll come out and pick it up and charge you £25 for the privilege. Oh, new Bobby seahorses! Yay! Howdy, Jeff. If I forgot to say hi, I can't remember. Um, such is the way of things. I'll get there. I'll get it cleared, then I'll try and figure out what the heck I might do. Exactly. Which is why it. Oh, so yeah, it's yeah. But you don't have adverts on the BBC. We have to pay for it. I'm not paying X amount for YouTube Premium just to not watch adverts. I'm not paying. Distracted me with a tip. Yeah. Tip always distracts me. It's just when you go in all the way, it's like, whoa! Steady up, Tiger. Buy me dinner first. 15 days since the last. It's not long before you're probably going to have more seahorses than the ocean does. What? Right, what title can we go with? If I'm Prince of Plecos or Baron of Bristles, Sir doesn't really work. Sir of Seahorses. Sire of Seahorses sounds dirty. What's the Latin name for a seahorse? I can never remember that one. Or just the general family. What does that begin with? Sea Pony Rancher. In that case, I'm a bristle farmer. Squire of Seahorses. There we go. I knew there was one. I mean, yeah, Squire is one above a peasant. Or was, I should say. Hippocampus. Ah, yes. Something will come up. King of Campus. There we go. Compared to the wholesale, I've got 700 in semi-adult breed on a big farm. Yeah, I get that. I did get a bit of a shock when I found out how many bristle noses that the biggest retailer uh, in the UK keeps in stock. I was like, oh, is that all? I was like, if you run out, give us a bell. I think at the time they were going about how it was on a live stream somewhere, I can't remember where. And I said, oh yes, we keep about 300 bristlenose plecos in stock, and I'm like, is that all? And I was like, oh. I was hoping for maybe some advice or some tips and tricks on breeding and keeping bristlenose plecos in vast quantities, but apparently not. Apparently they would have to come to me for that. I think the feet per gallon might throw them. It was 1 inch per gallon. Well, I've got 151-inch plecos in a 28. What's that? 7 litre, 28 litre. What's that? Yeah, well, I keep about 150 in a 7-gallon tank. I wouldn't breed that off. Imagine having 10 breeding pairs. Oh, geez. Bad enough for the bristle noses, and I've literally got one pair at the moment, and I'm getting 150 a month. I'm just praying that one of those supers, I'm pretty sure one of the bigger ones is a female. Then I'll start breeding the super reds again. And then I'm still looking for a female lemon blue eye. But generally, the only lemon blue eyes I find in shops are like that big or smaller. A lot of the places I go, I see bristle noses, and I'm like, really? You're selling them that small? I wouldn't even dream of taking them into the shop to sell that small. It's like, yeah, but they're a month old. Yeah, that's not big enough. So I don't take mine in for sale until they're an inch, not including the tail fin. So more like, what, 25, so more like 30 mil, 3 centimeters is when I take mine into sale, and some of them are considerably larger than that. You get the odd one that escapes and gets missed and then continues growing unseen somewhere, and you look one day and you're like, where the hell did that come from? First spawn I caught 15, down to 5, spawn 30 plus. Yeah, so the spawns are a bit smaller. It's like having live bearers, I guess. Some of the good aids that don't produce the size spawns that limiers produce. Because each one of them females in there, and they are mostly females, is, especially the adult ones, are dropping at least 30 a month every 4 weeks. So yeah, there's hundreds and thousands of limia in there. I wouldn't be surprised if there were several hundred. If I was to drain that tank down and actually take all the fish out and rescape it and blah blah blah, I don't want to know how many limia are in there. Really don't want to know. I don't think I've got too many males left. I think I've sold most of the males off. I think I've got 1, 2. I've got a few adult males, but then that works out quite well because the females don't get absolutely harassed. Male gets more experience and belly stretches, so get the old beer belly going. Up to 200 per spawn. When you start getting them in those numbers, you're going to be needing basically a brine shrimp breeding tank. That's basically what's going to happen. You're going to end up with a honking great tank that is purely for breeding brine shrimp in, and that gets fed spirulina algae every day. No, it'd be interesting to see if that could be doable, though, if you could maintain a colony. Or would you just end up with just a solid block of brine shrimp? quite probably, I reckon. Wow, what's going on? We've been talking about fish for nearly an hour. Weird. Random shrimpy tank is doing well. We're actually having babies in that tank now, so that one's going to get overstocked very quickly. Yeah. When you start up a third shrimp colony, just using the shrimp that you find in the water change water after you clean the filter, you know you've got too many. I hate to think the amount of livestock that's gone down my kitchen sink drain over the years. Oh dear. I might have to try and figure out where my local sewage works is and see if I can do a visit and start asking him if, have you seen any weird random things swimming around in the water? I mean, do you find like pink and blue snails or sucker-mouthed catfish or brightly coloured shrimp? I'm pretty sure there probably are. 1 hour, 8 litre, 5 day old, 6 litre, 2 day, 1 litre, 9 litre, phytoplankton, 7 pods. All the live feed then. It's time to start leaving a bucket or a tub outside and just start breeding mosquito larvae. Yeah, that's one I do as well. I mean, it's not on purpose. I'm not like purposefully breeding mosquitoes. It's just I like forget and I'll have a tub or a bucket outside. It'll fill up with rainwater, and the next thing I know, oh, it's full of mosquito larvae. Get a net, whip a load out, chuck them in the tank. Watch the fish go nuts. High omega-3. Probably some cat or dog food that do the trick if you could get them onto non-live foods. Most dog and cat food adverts I see tend to go on about the amount of omega-3 in them. Need green water. Yeah, pink water, I think, is get the old krill going. And get over on krill. So it's like, oh damn, I need a whale now to eat the krill. Yeah, salmon oil capsules. That'll do the trick. Shock, horror. Back in a mo. Siggy filters. Saltwater BB. Pass on what are saltwater BB. Maybe if I was going to do it. If I did move the Shellys on, I would probably just stick another couple of rocks in the Shelly tank, saltify it, and then chuck a couple of mollies in there, get it cycled as it were, in which be no bacteria, sequels don't like them. Yeah, it's I think that's probably how I would do a marine tank. I just drain out the fresh water as much as I could, chuck in a couple more bits of rock, possibly buy some of the live rock from my LFS, just so I've at least got to start with some of the correct flavour of bacteria, and then yeah, start out with some mollies, and then figure out what I actually wanted salty wise, other than a sea cucumber. But that tank's too small. 80% water change a day, fill up with brine. Yeah, micronutrients, macronutrients, all that kind of stuff. Next thing, I think the seahorses around the UK are starting to come back again now that the seas are a bit cleaner. I think like during the 80s and whatever, we did lose most of our seahorse population due to pollution. Mind you, we did lose most of the fish in the Thames as well because that was that polluted. You could almost walk across that on floating logs. But since then, various clean energy, clean whatever acts have come in and environmental stuff. And the River Thames has got fish back in it all the way down now. Even, they said they've even had trout out of the Thames now. So they've all come back. Basically, you just go further upstream and it's clean and nice. But as soon as you start getting towards London, it was basically an open sewer. I mean, it's still fairly brown, and it probably always will be because it's tidal. Yeah, further up, it's definitely a lot cleaner. And dolphins are back in the river as well, and all sorts. So, and there's a lot of rewilding projects around Norfolk, especially at the moment. Because people are realizing that if you take away all the natural, you know, natural environments, then you lose the animals, and then you lose a lot of the plants, and the soil gets depleted, and crops don't get pollinated as well, and pests increase. So, well, if we just like leave a corner of the field to go back to nature, oh yeah, all the stuff comes back again. I mean, big city rivers will always be brown and gross. So, do you remember during lockdown when all the rivers, canals cleared up in Venice because people weren't dumping all their trash into them and doing what normally happens? And the rivers and the canals all suddenly cleared up, and you could see all the fish in them. And they're brown again now, of course, but yeah, sometimes you can find Homo erectus in the UK over the sea via oceans, and I guess a breeder had to carry on breed. No, we walked over here, believe it or not. Originally, humans came to the UK walking via Doggerland. That's a completely different thing now. So it sounds like a theme park for people who like have public sex. Doggerland, but no, it was a land that ran from Dogger Bank, so from the Netherlands across the UK. Because the North Sea is very shallow for a sea. I think it's something like 300 feet at the deepest sections, which is why when we get storms come through the North Sea, they are brutal. It's only a little sea, but it's widely regarded as some of the worst shipping conditions in the world. Interesting animals, hard to keep. Yeah, we are. We did all sorts of strange things. I mean, we developed politics and religion, currencies, trade. All the things the animal kingdom doesn't have and doesn't have problems with. Except maybe chimps. We invented stuff, whereas the animal kingdom evolved stuff over millions of years. So everyone had a chance to get used to it as it was going on. Not new things suddenly coming out and going, what do we do with that? Yeah, they came across at low tide. Yeah, so there's plenty of videos online of North Sea storms, but if you see them, you'd be like, what the? And there's the lad on the 125cc motorbike who thinks that having a big loud exhaust makes it go faster, which it doesn't. Actually slows it down. Well, I was before rudely interrupted by a loud farty sounding exhaust. I can't remember. Norfolk, yeah, North Sea storms. There's some pretty extreme ones from the oil rigs in the North Sea, where like the waves are coming up over the rig. That's just a normal winter storm. It's why when the sperm whales come into the North Sea, they always tend to end up on the beach as an ex-whale. This is not deep enough. They can't dive and find food. So what's my guess? What colours do my babies get? Bright yellow, normal greenish. Mum's bright yellow. I reckon you probably get a mix, I think. And the way these things either tend to work, you either get some of one, some of another, all of one or all of another, or they just go a muddy brown colour. I know they might come out green and yellow striped, which would be cool. As long as they don't look like the old Norwich City away shirt that looked like someone had vomited a pizza. A cheese and onion pizza, to be precise. It was horrible. Because most fish, if you breed two different colours together, in my experience, you get all sorts of weird and randomness coming out. It's normally down to whichever is the more dominant gene, but in the case of things like live bearers, you get all sorts of weirdness. Hopefully yellow, they cost more. Exactly. Well, until you sell that many of them that you start killing the prices. I'll go and drain the vein. Back in a moment. Oof. And while we're here, just a quick proof. It's dark outside. Flip back on. That's better. Ooh, I feel so much lighter for that. I want to bring the price down to €80 per pony. I know 160 more for small medium size. Oof. Yeah, if you can bring the price down, especially if it's only one place that's selling them cheaper, then you will sell them all. And the other places will then have to drop their prices so they can still sell them. Or they'll have to stop selling them. Go, well, these don't sell anymore because these guys over here are selling them at half the price that we can. And I think that might be why there aren't too many super red bristlenoses around this area anymore. Because I undercut the whole market. Yeah, people are far more likely to pay €80 than 160. But then you do run the risk when the prices start coming down that people that probably shouldn't be buying them start buying them. Like when Finding Nemo came out and everyone wanted to put angelfish and clownfish together, which resulted in a lot of dead clownfish. Because people didn't realise that, one's freshwater, one's saltwater, and if you start putting saltwater fish in freshwater or freshwater fish in saltwater, they tend to belly up very quickly. Yeah, that movie was responsible for probably almost as many fish deaths as Jaws. Actually, probably right. Thinking about it, the amount of people that probably did it. I want a Nemo and a Dory. And then people didn't do any research, bought a goldfish bowl, stuck an angelfish and a clownfish in it, and then wondered why they died. And possibly kept replacing them until I finally said, I don't know why they keep dying. What kind of tank have you got them in? They're in a lovely little goldfish bowl. Both of them? Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's not going to work. Disney has been lying to you again. Pixar, whoever it is, the same bloody thing in my book. Yeah. When's there going to be a story about a carp that just spends all its day sifting silt on the bottom of the lake? And every so often eats the wrong thing and gets hooked by a fisherman and taken pictures of and then put back. Make sure that people got the right tank and know the fish, so we don't like to feed the fish. Feed live fish and fish your friends and not feed a fish. Oh, definitely no. Yeah, no feed a fish. I think about the only thing I've seen for sale as feeders in the UK is river shrimp. But yeah, I think selling fish to feed other fish is illegal. But I don't think you can even buy live mice and rats to feed to snakes. I think they had to be dead and frozen. Yeah, I think it's because shrimp are classed as an insect, and obviously you can buy mealworms and crickets and what have you to feed reptiles. So shrimp kind of come under that one, but I think I'm not entirely sure. Morally it's a no-no, and fish shops don't do it. But I think it's possibly illegal in the UK. It's like, why do you feel the need to feed your fish other fish? He'll only eat live food. He'll only eat other... No, that's because that's all you fed him. When it gets hungry, it will eat the other food. A fish won't starve itself on purpose. It will eat. You know, it wants to survive. Yeah. You know, when I'm saying about the odd pleco that escapes, yeah, that one's going to get sold to a pet shop or local fish shop at some point. Should we see if we can catch him right now? Because it is a male. Should we do see if Sharpe can catch a pleco live on camera? That'll do. Well, I was going to, but oh no, it's still there. Will it hang about if I open the lid? Will it stay put? Kinda. You dead spider. Right. And also, how many limia will I catch? We'll give it a go. Come on. And that is how you catch a bristlenose pleco. Go. Right. No, you're going to grip on, aren't you? So you can go in there. Come on. Let go of the net. There we are. And that's how you catch a bristlenose. No problem to get live food. Law says you should try and feed dead or other stuff. Yeah. I mean, if you got it, I guess if you do have something that literally refuses to eat anything other than live prey, then you kind of have to. But yeah, you say you've got eels eating pellets. If you can get an eel to eat a pellet, you can get pretty much anything to eat a pellet. But yeah, that's how we catch a 3-inch bristlenose in a heavily planted tank. Wait for the correct opportunity and take it steady, and then get really lucky because it swims into the net, and then all the limia swim away from the net. Got to admit, the limia are also easier to catch with the light off. Although generally I can just stick the net in and go and pull out a couple of dozen of them. Yeah. So when I say I caught 100 bristlenoses to sell this morning, for example, I didn't, but yeah, it really doesn't take long, especially in bare bottom tanks. Yeah. It's usually a case of put the net in, grab the bit of wood, slide the net under the bit of wood, and then just lift them both out the tank and just watch all the bristlenoses drop into the net. And repeat that until you've caught enough. And I think the hardest thing I've ever had to catch out of there was clown loaches weren't too bad because they all decided to hide in caves and stuff, so it was just a case of block the entrance to the cave off and just pull them out in it. These Yeah, I think probably the hardest thing to catch in there would be the Akaras, just just because of the size and the speed of them. They get a good zoom on when they want to. And they're good at hiding in small places. No, I know what the hardest thing to catch is. Shell dwellers. Yeah, there's nothing harder to catch than a shell dweller. That's a guarantee. Because as soon as you lift the lid off the tank, they all dive into their shells and won't come out until you go away. Which means you either then have to pull the shells out and break the shell to get the fish out of it, or get sneaky with a bucket and a tall glass and walk away. Um, oh, yeah, you missed some of them. Guarantee you didn't get all the shrimp. You can catch the vast majority of the shrimp fairly rapidly, but yeah, if you, especially if you've got substrate, and baby shrimp are so tiny that they will survive in the substrate if it's wet. This is why I always end up with accidental shrimp communities, because if they've been in a tank and then you even completely strip down and clean out and redo the whole tank, there will be some shrimp in there somewhere hiding. You can guarantee it. And it's like, aha. Pardon me. So before, this tank here was a shelly tank. Originally, it had shrimp in it. It was a shrimpy tank. And I took the shrimp out and stripped the tank down and rescaped it, new substrate, and had glow light Danios. Was it glow lights? It was a kind of Danio. A trio of butterfly cichlids. Yeah, so there's half a dozen Danios, a trio of butterfly cichlids, and a pair of bristle noses. And then I decided to break it down because I wanted shellies. And what happened was, when I went to break it down, I'd noticed a couple of shrimp. There were bloody hundreds of cherry shrimp in there. They're all just hiding under the rocks and in the plants. And there aren't any in there now because the shellies will have eaten any that were left. Because there's literally nothing alive in there other than the shellies. Not a single live snail in there. They even kill those. There's been the odd bladder snail turn up, but it's not around for very long before it gets munched. Hey. Yeah. Yeah, shrimp are one of the more awkward things to catch, because you'll guarantee you'll catch small ones that you don't want to catch as well as the big ones you do want to catch. So you then take a bag of 30 adult shrimp to the LFS, and there's probably nearer 50 or 60 in there when you take into account all the bloody shrimplets that are in there as well. And all sorts of mixed colours and God knows what. Yeah. Shrimp just do shrimpy things. The easiest things to catch, snails. That's literally just a case of put your hand in and pull them out. Especially when you've got as many as I have. I think the yo-yo loaches have nearly cleared that tank out of snails. Ooh, yeah. Amanos, that'd be a good one. If you keep them. Well, do the adults have to go from fresh to brackish, or can they survive in brackish? Because if they could live in brackish, you wouldn't have to worry about transferring anything over from fresh to brackish. I'm not entirely sure on that one. Do they just go into brackish water to have the young, or can they live in it? I've never had Amanos, so I've not ever tried. Although my water is probably hard enough to breed them in. It may not be brackish, but definitely hard enough. Adults born in brackish, so far as I know, they go back to fresh. Yeah. So basically, you have to just keep an eye on them, and when it looks like the female is ready to pop or drop, you then have to catch the females and put them into a brackish tank so they can give birth. Then catch them all back again, put them back in the fresh water. And would a brackish green water tank work? Pass. Well, you wouldn't want it green because you've got to catch the adult females again. If it was green, you wouldn't be able to see them. Yeah. Be an interesting one to do. And again, it's something that they don't take a huge amount of care or looking after. So if you could supply your own, it'd be a good one to do. Phytoplankton, that, which you've got going anyway. So yeah, you'd be fine. Just a case of setting up an amano shrimp tank then, because you could put the babies in with the phytoplankton, and I'm sure the seahorses wouldn't say no to munching a few amano shrimp larvae. They accidentally got transferred. Worse things happen at sea. Oh, the can's dead. Right, my time is up as well. That's gone quick. Wow. Yeah. Good thought. I'd be tempted to give that one a go, or give it a go. What else can we do? Quick plug for a non-fishy YouTube channel if you like sort of dark, real crime kind of stories. That chapter, good channel. Maybe that's something I'll try and start doing, is recommending random channels that I watch. Anyway, thank you everyone for being here. Good to see you all. Hope you're happy, healthy, and have a good week. Stay safe. Peace out. Rock on. Bye bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Monday suck do 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 do. Monday suck do 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 do. Monday suck do 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 do.